Am I on? Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Jonathan Nindi, aka JAY. And first of all, I'd like to wish you a happy new year. Welcome to the year 2022. And hey, we thank God for making it to this brand new year. Start off by wishing all y'all a happy new year, wherever you are, whichever side of the world you are in. Wishing you all a happy new year. And also, I'd like to encourage you to wear a mask. The pandemic is still with us, so you always have to wear your mask, sanitize, and yeah, do all those other things you're supposed to do. Yeah, so welcome to today's show. This is my first episode in 2022. Woo-hoo. Yeah, so basically we're not going to be talking about 2022. We're going to do that later. We're going to be talking about 2021. Yes, it was a very unpredictable year, and we still had a pandemic to deal with. But in terms of tech news, there was a lot happening on the local scene, and that's what we'll be doing in this episode. We're basically doing a rewind of 2021 to look at the big stories that did happen in 2021. As always, I'd like to encourage those who are new to the channel to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, the like button, share this video, and yeah, so we can be making more videos for you to keep you updated. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tech Talk. Yeah, so basically we're gonna take a look back at what was a very interesting 2021. Some of the stories that happened on the local scene that you should be aware of. So we'll start off the year by talking about one of the first stories we can talk about is the cybersecurity law that was passed in the first quarter of the year. So basically the cybersecurity laws were laws that were passed to basically regulate the cybersecurity space. The more we use technology, the more we interact with technology, and basically maybe use the internet for almost our everything that we do, from shopping to schooling to business. So the government saw it fit that we should have cybersecurity laws to basically govern that space, that the cyberspace that we are now all actively interacting with. And so at the time they made this announcement, well, not a lot of people thought that was the intention, because at the time, the regime at the time, was seen to be sort of trying to cut down on people's freedom of expression, to curtail them being able to use to be able to speak freely about how they felt during concerning certain issues. So at the time, government was giving the thing to say that they were actually doing this because they wanted to regulate the cyberspace and to clamp down on things like cyberbullying and cyber crimes. But at the time all this was happening, we were looking at an election year, so a lot of it was seen by the public as more of something to sort of hush people's voices on the internet, to sort of keep people from bringing up certain discussions that concern them and things like that. But the government of Zambia did come out to clarify, to say no, actually that's not the case. They're actually trying to look out for the public's best interests. Regardless of what you think it was all about, the thing is, those cyber laws were passed. And yeah, that's something that you should know that happened in 2021. So those cyber laws were passed, and ZICTA, who is mandated with managing ISPs and network providers, as well as the general the internet space, is the one that is able now to enforce those laws, as well as other security wings that are operating under the cyber security department or unit and things like that. So that's the first story we'll talk about, the cybersecurity laws that were passed in 2021. They brought a bit of a roar because a lot of the public were saying, the government's just doing this because they want to silence people. But the government said, hey, no, we actually need to regulate the cyberspace, So yeah, you can have your opinion about what it was, but then that was one of the stories that really made news in the tech industry in 2021. So the cybersecurity laws were passed in the first quarter of 2021. Moving on, we're also going to look at another story that popped up in 2021 was Spotify. Now, I'm pretty sure you know about Apple Music and iTunes, and you probably also know about Deezer. These are both music streaming platforms. And so in 2021, another music streaming platform came onto the fold in Zambia, and that is Spotify. And I'll personally tell you this. I, a few years back, was actually trying to download Spotify, and it so happened that it wasn't accessible in this country, and so last year it became accessible in this country, in Zambia. So last year in 2021 we had Spotify coming to Zambia. What is Spotify? Spotify is a Swedish-based music streaming platform. It's actually quite big. It should be number one, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of music streaming. It is a worldwide platform. We have big artists, big stars, all the latest songs and most happening songs. You find them on Spotify as well. And so that really brought another dynamic to the Zambian scene, because looking at the global audience that Spotify has, adding that to this Z spectrum, and our artists now having to have this opportunity, this big platform that's come on board. They offer you worldwide access. I mean, I'm not just talking about Africa, man, I'm talking global. I mean, these guys are everywhere. And so such a big platform coming into Zambia is very good for our own local artists, because then our music also gets to be marketed on a global scale. You get to put your music out on that platform, and that gives you such a wide reach, because these guys are really a big brand across the globe. As well as the other thing as well for the artists, that is, they get to earn some money out of them putting out their music there, as well as obviously that goes with the play that your music gets, but then you get to earn something out of it. So that was really a plus, and that's one of the stories that really also came up in the tech industry in 2021. That's Spotify, a music streaming application that came to Zambia. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, we're also going to talk about Beeline Technologies. Now, the previous year Zicta had told us that they were actually looking at introducing a fourth mobile service provider. Now, for the longest time, this story was a hush-hush, but in 2021, Zicta gave us the heads up to say that there was going to be a fourth mobile service provider, and the name was Beeline Technologies. Now, sadly for Beeline Technologies, this was a time when everything related to honey bee, or bee in particular, was not exactly making very good news in Zambia. So, when we heard Beeline Technology, we were like, oh my god, great, another bee something. But then doing a small Google search, Beeline Technologies is actually a Russian-based telecoms company, and I guess they wanted to have stretch their presence here, where we were seemingly looking for a fourth mobile service provider to add to what we already currently have, Airtel, Zamtel, and MTN. So Beeline Technologies was announced to be the next service provider, although that news did come up, but then we never really saw it come to fruition. We don't have Beeline Technologies and Technologies as the fourth service provider as of now. So I'm assuming talks broke down, or maybe they couldn't agree on certain things. But then again, that was a story that broke out in 2021, and it's something that you should know about. So moving on, since we're talking about telephone and network service providers, we can also talk about Zamtel, who launched their Velocity package. Yes, Velocity is basically a data bundle that the bundle platform that Zamtel was offering to the public, and I must say, the time that they launched it, it was really cool. Zamtel is like our own is our nation-owned telecoms company, so it was really good to see them making those strides towards providing quality internet. And hey, I had a chance to use it as well, and yeah, it was exactly as they said. It was very good. I was really impressed with the speeds, especially at night. And I think there was a lot of good feedback from a lot of people that did use the Velocity bundle. So kudos to Zamtel for putting that out. And so that's the Velocity data bundle that Zamtel put out in 2021. Now, as I said in the previous statements when I was telling you about the fact that this 2021 was an election year for Zambia, let me also be quick to mention that there was this one news item that I think was really a big deal for me in 2021. So in 2020, late 2020, in the third quarter of 2020, the Electronics Council, the Electronic Commission of Zambia had announced to the public that we were going to be able to register to vote online. And the time that hit, I was like, oh okay, so like we're doing like an online thing now. I was a bit skeptical, like, oh okay, there's like an online way of doing this now. And so that platform was provided by the Electoral Commission of Zambia, and it was actually very simple. You go to their website, you enter your details, it even, you get to pick the location where you are and where you want to vote. It was a really efficient way of registering. I mean, I was skeptical at first, but when I went through the process, I was like, oh, okay. So when I did go, to the polling station to go and verify my details, everything was there. They had all my details where I was going to vote. I was really genuinely impressed. So I'd like to say kudos to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. That is the way to go, and we hope that in the near future we'll even be able to vote online. Ain't that gonna be cool? And so that's personally for me, that was one of the picks of 2021, one of the pick stories that I would pick from 2021, being able to use that platform, an online platform, to be able to register voters. And it was really a very cool thing for me. And so I'd like to say kudos to the ECZ. And like I said, looking forward to voting electronically in the near future. So then I'll go on to talk about a few other stories that I thought were relevant in 2021, and one notable one I can say is Zesco launching their application. So Zesco launched an application to basically deal with customer queries and things like that. And I think over 20, starting from 2020 and over to 2021, we've been seeing a lot of companies embracing what COVID has taught us in terms of having to use technologies to do some of these things that we have to go and queue up and things like that. And so Zesco also launched their application, and with it you are able to buy units, you are able to report faults, as well as many other things that you can also do. You can also like register for, if you want to have an installation, like a power installation at a certain site, maybe it's a new house or things like that. So it's a very impressive application, I must say. I have used it. I have seen a lot of functionalities that you can do on it, and honestly, all I can say is big ups to Zesco for the application, and hopefully it's helping in decongesting the service centers, and people are able to do things from the comfort of their home on their smartphone. Because one thing that COVID taught us is that you have to diversify. You have to think of it, like the fact that the virus moves because you are also moving. A lot of people were encouraged to stay home, and so the fact that you still wanted to attend to to still be able to do certain things in terms of access these services, bringing these services closer to people through applications is a very good way in which organizations have been able to embrace, and it's a very good thing. So Zesco launched their app in 2021. Actually it was launched in 2020, but then I think it went public, and I think it was given more publicity in 2021. So you can find their application on the App Store or the iStore if you're an iPhone user, the Zesco app. Yeah. So sticking with applications, maybe another application I can also talk about in 2021 that was launched is the Lusaka Stock Exchange application, or for short, the Lusaka app. So the Lusaka Stock Exchange launched their application in 2021, and I've personally tried the application, actually used the application, and I must say that's also one of the most impressive feats for me in 2021. Buying stock is something that maybe a lot of people don't know, but and I think a lot of people weren't really educated about that, and maybe the whole procedure of having to go and register and things like that. But then them bringing up the application, I think really did help sensitize a lot of people about being able to the aspect of buying stock and things like that. And being able to do it over your phone makes it very easy for a lot of people, because I was able to actually register all my details and things like that, and I was able to start buying stock after my details were verified. I was able to start buying stock, and I was like, wow, this is really cool. This makes it very easy, very efficient, and plus I can do it in the comfort of my home, so that makes it like I can do it on my smartphone too, so that makes it even more convenient. Who doesn't want that? So the Lusaka app, you can also search for that in the Google Play Store. I must say, big ups to the Lusaka Stock Exchange for the application. It's very efficient, very user friendly, and all you have to do is sign up, and voila, you are there ready to buy stock. So you can find their application in the Google Play Store as well as the iStore. Moving on, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about elections, because in August 12 we had the elections in Zambia, and yeah, another tech story that came up out of that is there was an internet blackout. Yes, there was a shutdown of the internet. I actually remember this because I was in the line going to vote when that actually happened. You try to send a message on WhatsApp, it's not going. You try to access your Facebook account, nothing's happening. And so there was a lot of panic, there was a lot of frenzy about it, and alanje pamene bantu banaziba ma VPN Zambia. I was really personally impressed with the way everybody just switched on, and somebody just posted VPN this, and everybody download alama VPN and they downloaded it your day. People downloaded VPNs that they did not know about, because VPNs are like things that tech people and mainly tech people are the ones that will talk about VPNs, or maybe if you work in like an IT department, you would have that knowledge. The ordinary Zambian knew VPN on that day because we were not able to access WhatsApp, we were not able to use Facebook and things like that. Go and download them a VPN, shiny VPN. There are VPNs I didn't even know about that I was told to download on that day. So that was very, very interesting. Obviously, it was sad that the internet the internet, there was an internet blackout. But guys, my VPN mnazi by your day. You get text from your friend saying, I'm actually browsing from the Netherlands, or I'm browsing from the USA. So it was a very dark time for the internet, but it was actually very exciting to see Zambians, and just try get around this whole internet blackout that was there, and it was very exciting to see that. So the blackout was one of the standout things that happened during the general elections, but obviously that was restored after I think the next day or after a few the next day or after a few days. Anyway, it was restored, but when they put the plug, we were able to use VPN to still be able to communicate. And well, while we're on the topic of blackouts, late in the third quarter of 2021, there was the Facebook shutdown or blackout that we had, and that also caused another roar because Facebook was out, Facebook was down, Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram were out for like close to 5-6 hours, and the truth is it was really crazy because a lot of us in Zambia use Facebook, and WhatsApp and things like that, and so having those two platforms offline was like, oh snap, like what just happened, what's going on and things like that. So for a good period of time, I think maybe people were thinking it's just a shutdown or that kind of a thing, but you try this, you try that, and you just aren't able to access it no matter what you do. So the Facebook shutdown, that was really crazy. And maybe sticking with Facebook, another story that followed afterwards is Facebook changed its name to Meta. So after the shutdown, a few weeks later, Mark Zuckerberg announced to the world that they were changing their name from Facebook and they were now going to be known as Meta. That caused a lot of roar. It was like, Meta, what is this Meta? Meta. It was all over social media, but he did explain that they are taking a new direction. And so and actually it has a lot to do with the metaverse, and I'll actually put a link, you can check that out. I actually did a series on the metaverse, so you can learn more about the metaverse in the link on your top right corner. And so basically those are the main stories that I can talk about in 2021, the tech stories that happened in 2021. There may be many others, but hey, we have a limited time, we can't talk about everything. And so you can go and share what you thought has been the tech story of 2021 in the comment section. You can drop that in the comment section and let's get interactive. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, I am excited for the new year, and very soon we'll be dropping another video to talk about what we should look forward for the coming year in 2022. What are we looking forward to? What are we expecting? What's going to be the trending story, And so as for now, that's all. We were just taking a rewind selector of what happened in 2021, and I'd just like to thank everybody that's been supporting the page, been watching the videos, subscribing, sharing, and liking, and thanks for the love, y'all. And in the next video, we're going to be looking at what's going to be happening or what we should expect in 2022. My name is Jonathan Nindi, aka JAY, and this is Tech Talk, where we're keeping you updated. Ciao.